Okay, so in this part, what we need to understand before we get to the book of Enoch is we need to describe what the Bible is trying to tell you here. It is giving you a historical record of cycles of judgment. And just like we learned, who's carrying out this judgment is not our Father, but it's this descendancy of these fallen sons of God. Okay, this living civilization. And of course, they are the symbolic Danites. Also, Samson himself of the Danites, who Samson himself was really never an individual. Samson is symbol for the description, the activities of these individuals as they're being described as lions themselves, but now they're warring with the other lions, the peaceful lions. So all of the sons of God in the beginning are being symbolized as lions, just like you see Jesus Christ is described as the conquering lion, okay, of the tribe of Judah. Well, these lions that are in representation of Jesus Christ are peaceful lions, just like you see when Jesus returns, the lion and the lamb shall lay together. They're peaceful, they're non-predatory. Well, because these sons of God, the fallen ones, have been influenced by this occultic knowledge from the fallen prince, which has manifested itself in a feminine form to entice them. And we see this being represented as the Queen of Heaven. Well, because these sons of God are being pulled from the symbolic lions, the peaceful lions, they're still going to be termed lions after they've fallen. And now we see that Ezekiel chapter 19 gives us the reference of these lions being brought up with the other lions, the other young lions, the other good sons of God. But instead, now these lions are turned predatory in their agenda, their occultic agenda to destroy mankind, okay, spiritually and physically. The Bible has given you a perfect reference of these cyclic judgments of time. Exactly right. And that's exactly what we see here. So if you know, in the beginning of Genesis, Genesis is really a new beginning. Genesis, there's a judgment that takes place in between the very first two lines. And then if you know anything about the end of Revelation, Revelation is also a judgment. At the end of this judgment revelation, after the end of the 1,000-year kingdom age or the golden age, guess what? The serpent's loosed again. We see the serpent present at the beginning of Genesis, or the new beginning, and of course a judgment has taken place, and I can show you the evidence, and then we're in a cycle. And then now at the end of this cycle, another judgment takes place, and guess what? The serpent's loosed all over again. Well, guess what's going to happen? The cycle is going to come around and another judgment. The Bible is giving you a record of that right here. And you're going to see the first binding of this judgment, verse 4. Okay, these beings were brought up, they caused their folly, but after they did this in the judgment, they were bound again. Okay, and we'll get to how they're bound. They're bound by us. They're bound by our free will because we overcome them at these judgment points. They have not been ever able to fully overcome us, but they think they will this time. They're not. But even in the past, they still have never been able to fully overcome us. That's why we're here now. That's why we still have our free will. It's all in relationship to the gift that Jesus Christ has given us. Okay, and that's this dominion over the earth, which will relate to the terrestrial energy laws of physics that are governed by the as above, so too below, tetrahedron, triangle configuration. Okay, and we'll talk about that later. So we get two separate bindings that take place. They're telling you a cycle of world ages right here. One starts at verse 4, okay? And then the other separate binding, okay, a separate event forward in time, and it's going to be about 5,125 years forward in time. We're going to get another binding event that is recorded, and it's all in relationship to these very same beings, the judgment that they're trying to do upon the earth, which is in relationship to devouring men, and which is going to be spiritually destroying men, not only physically. And of course, it's relationship to their roaring. As I told you, the locust, it's going to be relationship to their doctrine, what comes out their mouth. I'll be back.